I'd like to talk to you about God Source, the energy that generates everything, the love that's underpinning every thought, every molecule, every spinning atom, every second of this existence. The love energy that thought up this life, this experience that we're experiencing. It designed it, it thought it up. So what I'd love you to do is to imagine that God Source. Now, no, it's not a sort of grandfather figure in the sky, but it's also not a sort of faceless, voiceless, no personality origin either, because it does think, it does reflect, it does learn this energy, this love, and it's learning through you, it's learning through me. Every single moment as we breathe, and every experience that we're having, whether it's arguments with someone that you love and in your family or at work, or moments where you step into your leadership and take a step back inside of yourself and see the overview of a tangled situation and decide to clarify it and have compassion for everyone involved maybe in a tough situation, and then help everyone get clear, and then help everyone move forward and feel clarity themselves. So a moment of leadership where you instinctively take that action or make that decision. So God Source is learning through you in a moment like that, where you choose to lift in a moment of challenge. So God Source is not, you could say, inanimate. God Source is animate, is inside of you, is inside of me. It's learning, and it's loving, and it's a being, except this being isn't contained like we're contained and individualized. Because the being that God energy is inside everything, is inside all molecules, all atoms, all quantum particles. Scientists, physicists now know that quantum particles are conscious and choose whether they become a waveform of light or a particle of matter. Quantum particles, the fabric of our physical experience, of our physical reality. So even beyond quantum particles is a being who, or that, radiates its presence, its consciousness into everything. So it's what's looking out of all of our eyes. It's what's making decisions and interpreting reality, judging, assessing, making choices and decisions. So behind everything is this consciousness, behind everything. Some religions have a multitude of gods and goddesses and beings in the spirit worlds, and Christian traditions have their angels and their saints and their envoys in the spirit worlds. But this energy of God Force is even beyond them, is even working through them and with them. So God Force, God Source, what is this energy? The word God, G-O-D, is a very small word, but this force is what I am and is what you are. And it's not impersonal. It's very personal. And it seems to have this dynamic of learning as a kind of core function. In a way, it's playing with its own consciousness. It's putting something out there, which is us, which is everything that we're seeing and experiencing. It's putting something out there, and it's learning through that about itself. So in a way, it's playing with itself, learning about itself. So it's an extraordinary design that it's come up with, thought up, to explore what it is for itself. What an extraordinary design. What an extraordinary function it's created. And also what's extraordinary is that love is the underpinning thing, feeling, beingness that this is, that this all-pervading energy and being is love. And if we think about that, that's kind of like, whoa, you mean even when I have a challenge or something's looks really bad, how can there be love with that? How can there be any element of love in that? And yet, this force of love sits binding all of that together with all of the horrible, yucky experiences that as humans we have. And all of it is an opportunity to learn, is an opportunity to rise above a limitation, is to rise above a fear, is to rise above any feeling that's not love. And that is the learning function mechanism built into what we're experiencing as a human life. And it's built into everything that reality is. Moments of learning to rise above fear, to rise above into something higher, not artificial but honest movement into a higher perception level of love. So it's a reaching for more love, always. It's a training into love from a position of fear maybe, or some experience that is not love. Training it to move into a position of love. So that movement into love, constant movement back into love, back into the God force, into the foundational energy, is the movement and the pattern of everything in this existence of reality. So in a way you could say, well, that's a bit stark. It's like, oh, you mean I have to feel griefs and the fears and the really bad, horrible experiences sometimes that humans have in order to learn or be trained to lift into a higher perception of love, or to reunite with a feeling of empowerment and love. And there's a wondering, maybe, is that a bit stark? Is that a bit rough, tough? And interestingly, because I'm online with my spirit tutors, they're saying to me right now that actually, yes, no matter what the journey to get back to that base foundation of love, that is the journey, that is the training, that is the decision making, the choices, on a very, very foundational level for all of us. So I'm offering this to you right now, and my spirit tutors that are speaking to me right now, because I've been speaking with them clearly for 28 years, all days, every day, as a professional intuitive, as a professional energy healer, Now saying to me right now that this is being offered to you as a new thought maybe, or as just something to think about, that everything that happens in your life is about an opportunity for you to lift and to observe something from a new, higher point of view. So it's an opportunity to change your point of view higher. So if you're feeling really stuck or angry, disappointed, fearful about anything, I'd like to give you this as a new training, as a new life practice, to take a moment and ask yourself, how can I lift into a new point of view, into a new perspective, into a new perception platform where I perceive this whole thing differently? How can I do that? How can I move from A to B? Because if the entire universe and if God Source, the vast energy of love that's underpinning everything, says that the entire situation is a setup for that to happen, then maybe I need to actually think about that and make that a thing in my life, where if I'm feeling stuck, angry, fearful, grief-filled, if I do that thing of moving from my current inner position of feeling sad or fearful and move myself to a higher elevated feeling where I feel compassionate for myself, I let the feelings of love come in, I feel more empowered about the situation, whatever it takes to get from that A to that B, that is what God's Source wants you to do, or wants us to do, wants me to do, and wants every molecule in the universe to do that all the time. That's its momentum, constant momentum. That's its constant movement, like the ocean, movement of the ocean. That's the movement of God energy, is elevation back into love, from pulling away from that, feeling the fear, back into it, back into a feeling of security, stability, feeling loved, back into the ability to feel God, love. So this is the reason I'm talking about this topic, is that if you as a person, as a human, wonder about your life and what it's for, this is what it's for. To move from a lower point of view to a higher point of view. To return to love. So take a look at your situations in your life, the feelings that you have inside of yourself, and notice, do a little bit of homework and notice which ones need to move higher, which feelings, perceptions, assessments, decisions, judgments need to move higher. Judgments about yourself, judgments about someone else. Anything that makes you feel lower, move it higher. See how you can do that. Reach for anything, books, people, learnings, trainings, facilitators, music, nature, anything that can lift you higher. 1 minute you can be feeling really down, you go for a walk in nature and it just fills you with God energy, with God Source. It's vibrating with the beauty of God Force. So you go out there in it and osmosis, you're starting to feel higher. And when you look at your issue and your problem, or yourself, whatever it is, you're looking at it from a higher platform. You've gone from A to B. So there's all kinds of ways to help you do that. So today we've learned that everything in our lives is about moving from a lower platform to a higher platform and perceiving, elevating our worldview inside of us. It's about you. It's not about changing anything on the outside. It's about us returning to love, moving from away from love towards love, back to the God love, back to it. And through that movement of us doing that, the force that God Source is, the love that it is, that background love, learns. It's learning through us learning. It's learning through you learning. So it is you, it is a part of you, it's learning through you. It's a beautiful partnership. It's a beautiful merging and melding. It's what you are. So on that note, thank you for listening. Learn more, lift more, and love more. Much love. My name's Alicia Power. Thank you.